We are. I'm sorry. I was looking at Aaron Gladman's meme, "Homies Alone." Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome. I'm Lewis Dix, and I am Homie Alone. Dannon Green will be joining me in a minute, the list expert. And that was cold when somebody said, "Get him to say despicable." Y'all were wrong for that. It's good to be back. I got a few great guests joining me. I mean, real guests, not just the guests that we try to find, but real guests who are actually on TV and working. So I'm excited about that. I'm Lewis Dix, and as you can see, the homies haven't gotten the car yet. I reached out to them. Actually, I reached out to TDP. I haven't reached out to Jeff. I just got to draw the line. I just got to draw the line. You know how your parents say, "You gonna need me before I need you." I mean, TDP's got enough talent for me to call him a few times. Jeff, I'm on the fence. I almost called him, but if you're listening, Jeff, come on through. But we all got egos, so I understand. But hey, today I was thinking about this past week about relationships, and it made me think about people over 50 and how tough it is to find someone. And everyone's got baggage, but it just seems like people over 50 got 2 or 3 full luggage to bring. And it's just so difficult. I meet a lot of people who are just not feeling relationships, or not, the young people, they're not even in relationships anymore. They just got people that they kick it with or that they hang out with. And then it's kind of like friends with benefits. And people over 50, they not about, especially now, because this show is In a Man's World, we're going to try to help you women understand what some of the issues are and why you're alone. Okay? Because men can always go find, if they got enough cash, whatever, they can find somebody to be with, take them out to dinner. But you women, you're struggling right now. And a lot of it has to do with some of you guys' attitudes. It's like you can't be over 50 with, kids, whatever, and then expect a man to look at you as if you're someone who doesn't have that baggage. And a lot of us, all of us bring baggage, but for some reason, you women just got too much where you want us, we can't fix. And that's been a little thing with like Will Smith and the whole thing about, there's his truth and people are bringing their truth to the party. And and I think that's where it starts. It starts with a foundation of your truth. And I believe it starts with, how are you going to treat this person? And are you going to open yourself up to allowing them to love you and you love them? Because people who are over 50 understand when someone's trying to run game or not being consistent, and I believe that's all anyone wants, male or female, is consistency. Let me know what I got. Let me know what I'm dealing with. And what are your, you can't come in a relationship borrow money or needing stuff. And we all do, but at least get yourself together. So it's tough. I mean, it's so tough, I believe, being a good man, because a lot of women aren't used to a good man, and they look for you to hiccup. And I believe if you're a good man, you just have to stay consistent. You just have to keep showing her, hey, I love you, I care for you, you're important to me. And it's true. I've heard a lot of times women say, it's the little things. It's the little things that he does that makes me really love him. And I try to do the little things. I found a good partner. And that's interesting, too, because when I was talking to myself before the show, I go through these little soliloquies with myself. And then the producer, the boss lady, she looks at me as, why is he talking to himself? So I just go do that. And I was going to say my partner, because I feel like once you're over 50, to say boyfriend and girlfriend, it's kind of like, what? So, and then when you say partner, then people look at you like you have to follow it up with, she does this. And they're like, okay, he's talking about that kind of partner and not, same-sex partner. So my partner, code 3, I think we're in a good space, but you never really know, because that's another thing that people over 50 are able to do. They're able to fake it, but it's true. What you can only fake it for so long. So I kind of think we're in a good space. Hopefully it'll continue. But trust me, a lot of women are so prepared that, hey, I know if it didn't, code 3 would still, as her phrase is, keep it moving. She ain't got time for silliness and keep. I mean, and I've learned a lot about her, and I've learned a lot about how. Well, I've accepted the right way to do it. because you kind of know what you're supposed to do, but then your ego, whatever, tells you, no, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm a yell, and the person's like, hey, don't yell at me. Then you got to make a choice. Like, I'm either gonna keep yelling to see how long they take it, or I'm gonna keep, coming in late, for no reason. Because if you got a reason, that's fine. But if you just not coming in, because there's certain things that bother people, and you know that, and you're like, all right, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. And then communication is important for women. So today's show, I wanted to know, and then this whole dating app thing is just crazy. I was reading that this one dating app is making so much money because I've never gone on a dating app. I'm old school. I feel like you meet the person, you talk to them. But I know a lot of people, especially women, who go on dating apps. One is it's scary. It could be dangerous. But there's some people who find love. So, our phone number is 323-815 4204. It's right on the screen. There you go. 323-815-4204. And I want to know if you've gone on a dating app, if you found real love. Let us know. There's some people who I know if they say, because it's kind of like a weird whenever you say to someone, hey, how'd you meet? And they say, a dating app. Then you pause because you're like, and then they will come right away and tell you how great it's been. They will justify that dating app because they know it's kind of like it generally doesn't happen that way. But there's a lot of, and then all these shows, because Code 3 is, she watches all these shows about, she doesn't watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette, but definitely Love It. What is it? All the marriage show, Married at First Sight, Looking for Love, 90 Day Fiance, Ready for Love. And it's interesting. I don't like those shows until it's on. Like, I was like, I'm not going to watch it, but I'll be laying there, and sure enough, I'll turn over and start watching it and talking to her about it. And it happens to all the shows that she watches. Never with me. If I'm watching sports, she's in the other room. I'm out. And then she'll say, okay, I'll watch it with you, but not really. And right on time is Dannon Green, who has an audition today. That's why he was running late.
Sorry about that, man.
No,
I had
that's
to go back
all right.
and change.
Huh?
I had to go back and change.
That's what you're going to, the audition is?
Sports thing.
Oh, you actually?
Yeah, because I told you I'm leaving town today.
Okay, all right. And the Queen, the Queen too just walked in, strolled in. That's the one I was telling you about that called last time.
Oh, okay.
Cool. See how she walked in, like
she was all of that.
I don't know if she could be in the kitchen.
Okay, no,
cooking.
she wasn't. She was outside.
She was outside?
Yeah, so.
Because normally, see, look at her. How you doing? Oh, she was working out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. You could tell she got her workout stuff.
Mm-hmm. What up, Dix?
What's up? How you doing?
Man,
you bought cream for your hair.
Yeah, because I knew if I didn't, you were gonna say something.
No.
So I brought it. No, I don't trust you. So I went ahead and decided to bring the Noxzema cream and the Dove, the good stuff, so that your fan base can, I don't know.
We don't have a fan base. We just got people in the chat room.
People ignorant.
But they were on you though. They said.
Oh, they'll be back.
They said have you say despicable.
Despicable. I can say it.
So
what's up, Lou?
Not much. How are you? How was your week?
Bro, it's a great week.
Really?
I have to share this with you.
Go ahead.
2 days ago, as you know, I got the documentary, The Executioners.
Right. It's a film you did about boxing.
Right, that we're trying to, continue to move it and push it and things like that. Well, 2 days ago, I got blessed to interview Bernard Hopkins.
Ah.
So it's going to be very interesting for the public because, as you know, not a lot of people, but the guys within the gym, and myself, we felt like Bernard got the name from The Executioners, us.
Right.
But it was very interesting to hear his side of the story. And I think it's going to bring a big button to the doc, and I think it's also going to bring, I don't want to say closure, but it's just going to bring that element of that gym and what it was and things like that. He gave it a very good compliment, and so I'm going to add probably about 5 minutes of. I interviewed him for 45 minutes, but I'm going to probably have about 5 minutes of it at the end of the doc. It'll be a whole new cut.
Now, why wouldn't you put more in there?
Because so. The documentary isn't about Bernard. It's about the gym. Fortunately and unfortunately, both of them have the same name. And they're from the same city. Mm-hmm. And we fought Bernard. So a lot of the guys from the gym feel that he had taken the name from our gym. So when I initially was getting ready to do start the documentary, I had people that were actually saying that you should start it off about Bernard,
Right.
about the gym, like the name. And I said no, because I don't want people to think that this documentary is about him using the name. It's really about these guys that were great fighters. So that's one reason that at the end, Lou, I don't want to use 35. I'm going to use what's significant for the interview relating to the gym, but I won't use everything else.
All right, well, let me ask you. If someone comes with a lot of money and says, listen, man, we like what you're doing, but we feel it'd be better for us if we're going to invest that you give us 20 more minutes of Bernard within the flick.
Then we can do that. Yeah, but because, and Lou, you know, being in the business as long as you have, you'll get people we've always gotten, and if you're new in the industry or you haven't been in the industry a long time, I think you really need to hear this, because you're going to hear this a lot, especially if you're a writer. You know, you're going to have a guy come up and go, man, Lou, I like the script. I really do, man. I think this shit is this is a hit. But now, if you change just this part here, I think you'll do that. And they'll have you going back and changing stuff and changing stuff. So you got to get to that point in your life. You have to have enough, I like to say now to Dave Chappelle, and say, look, no, or if you're going to give me some money to make these changes, then I'm going to go ahead and make these changes. So give me $5,000, option the script, give me $10,000, let me know you're serious, and I'm going to go in and do what you want. So in terms of, they say, well, we want more Bernard, like you just said, if they're willing to give me money, you know, to do it, then yeah. Because if not, I'm paying for this editing. I had to pay for the shoot, all of that on my own. So, you know.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So it was a great week, man. It was a great week.
Now you just got to get Floyd and everyone else.
Man, you know what's funny, man. You know what's funny, man, Lou. First of all, big shout out to Chris Spencer. Mm-hmm. Chris Spencer got me Bernard Hopkins, and I have nicknamed Chris Spencer the new Black Godfather of Hollywood.
Oh, he's a Pied Piper.
Chris knows a lot of people, and but the difference, Lou, is he's not scared to connect you. He's almost got a white attitude in some aspect,
right?
Which is, I'm not gonna lose whatever I got going on,
right?
And we don't have that. You know, so many people, man. So many of us could be larger than what we are. People say to me, man, you're talented, you whatever.
Okay.
You got a call?
Yeah, this is an interview coming up. No. Oh. This is a guest who's been in the industry.
Okay.
I believe he was born in LA. I'm not sure. But I believe so. And I've read, because I go on and Google these guys, and then I'm told that this is not true.
Okay.
So he can tell us. But
so you're saying everything on Google isn't
I don't know, but
true.
they said he was a dancer, comedian, radio host, and impressionist. Now, and he also in 2013 won the Black Comedy Award in the UK as the best international comedian. Yes.
Why he had to go over there?
Hey, listen, from 2015 to 2019, he starred in the HBO series Ballers as Reggie. And he's currently co-starring in hit Power Book 2, Raising Cain.
He's a
as
terrible
Marvin Thomas.
He's a
stand-up. I know him as a stand-up, and then, of course, as his acting. But there was one time I saw him in the car while he was on HBO writing jokes and then coming and trying. So please welcome, guys. He's nice enough to, and I know he's only doing it because he feels like, okay, Lou might keep calling me. London Brown.
He's probably doing it because of me.
No, he's not.
He knows me.
Oh, you know London Brown? Hey, London.
Man, what you mean? I mean, I can say he's under my wing slightly for the comedy. I think I can at least say something like that.
Y'all some OGs for sure, man. I got a lot of respect for both y'all already. That's why when Lewis, when you was giving the description, I like Dannon don't know that he knows who he's about to introduce.
I didn't.
Yeah, man. That's my brother, man. My brothers. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
What's up, London?
Now, before I go any further, was all of that correct in what I read?
Yeah. I still don't consider myself an impressionist, because in impressions, I think you got to have like 60-something people that you really do. I just do the ones that I do that ain't my register. So I'm not even that really. You know, I think like the cats, like shout out to the Jake Farrells and Dean Edwards and so forth that really do that. I just do a couple. You know,
you do the ones. Hey, you do the ones that got you to the spot.
I just do the ones I do, you know what I mean? Or the ones, the people that I like. That's, pause. Those are the ones I do. But now, how are you guys?
Good. The name of this show is In a Man's World, but I want to say, man to man, you look good. You look really good and healthy, and
man, I'm trying to get through my water and all of that, man. Trying to keep it together, man. That's the least I can try to do and be stress free.
Now, you were born in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised there.
And now you're in New York right now?
I'm in New York right now.
That's where you guys film Power too? Is that
Yeah, I'm on Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. So yeah, we shoot here in New York.
How you like it? How you like New York? The
It's
energy,
great, artistically inspirational all the time. Like
the energy, yes.
you're never not inspired artistically. I do feel like the city need a good scrub down. Like it just need to be washed. Like everything just need to be washed.
Man,
But I don't mind. I mean, for what I do in photography and stuff like that, it's always some good stuff, man. So it's good for me.
now? Was there an adjustment you had to make coming from L.A. and New York? Different like attitudes, or what adjustments did you have to make as far as who you were?
The adjustments was, I mean, just understanding the culture a little bit, because usually I'm here a few times a year for work or something like that, fashion show and stuff like that. I come here, but the biggest thing was just understanding like people don't care. So I remember, because I'm a sneaker guy, so I remember just walking past people and just saying, "Yo, man, some nice kicks." And then the first few times I was like, okay, maybe they just didn't hear me.
Right.
So let me go back to one other time I walked up once. I was like, "Yo, those those shoes are nice." And he just kept walking. I said, "Okay, they don't care."
No,
Okay,
no. See, London, you don't understand. In LA, you can say, "Yo, those are some nice kicks," and people are like, "Oh, thank you." When you say those are nice kicks out east, the nigga about to rob you. So that's probably what they're thinking. Like when you go up and say, "Yo, those are nice kicks," like, "Yo, why is he saying I got nice kicks on?" See what I'm saying?
I'll take that. Now that makes sense. I could go with that. I mean,
yeah, they know you there.
But as I think about it, every time I've said it, I had a hoodie on because I was on my way to the gym. From the
there
gym.
you go.
That might make sense. I had a hoodie on and we in a mask.
Right.
So that might have something to do with it.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, when you went through your casting process on Ballers and Power Book, did they know you were a comedian?
No, I don't think they knew. And for speaking of Chris Spencer, shout out to Chris Spencer. Chris Spencer was the one who called me about Ballers.
Wow.
Because they were trying to find. I still don't really quite know the process, but I know I got a call from Chris, and he was just like, "Yo, have you auditioned for Ballers?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Well, they're looking for you. Can I send them your info?" I was like, "All right, bet." And I just went in and did it that way. So I don't know if they really knew at the time. I think they kind of knew after they made the connection between Chris Spencer and say, "Yo, since Chris is a comedian, he probably would know if anybody's doing comedy." So I think it kind of went about that way. And I don't think they knew that I was a stand-up on Raising Canaan off top. I think they later found out what was going on, but I don't think they knew off from Jump Street.
Now, did you go into Ballers differently than you went into Power Book? Was it did you have a different mindset? I'm sure you did, but what was it?
The thing about when I was shooting Ballers, I wanted to be a part of Power. So that's why I had never even watched this. Obviously, this hit show. I never watched it because I just wanted to be a part of it. So as far as my approach, the preparation is the same. Just wanted to be ready for the audition. But at the time so funny thing was, for both these auditions, I didn't have an agent. So when I booked Ballers, I was agentless and I didn't even have a manager. And then after doing the first season of Ballers, then I had a chance to sit down and meet with everybody. I linked up with my manager, got my agent. After Ballers ended, my agents at the time just kind of hit me with the Hollywood energy, which was like, "Yo, London, hey man, how's it going?" I was like, "Man, everything is cool." Right, nice. Hey, listen, guy, we just feel like we're probably too big of an agency for you. You got to go somewhere. I said, "Oh, this is that talk." I said, "Oh man, you could have just told me. It's all good." And we got off the phone. So I was agentless, but I had my manager. My manager says, in between, this was September of 2019 and December of 2019. My manager said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." So I went up to go shoot 2 other projects in between. One of them, I played Boosie Collins for like American Soul or something. And so shout out to Robbie Reed for that call. So I go do something in something else. And then my manager says, "Yo, there's an agent who wants to meet with you. He's familiar with your work." And he was a younger guy. And the first thing he sent me was an audition for for Power Book 3. And I didn't actually know it was Power Book 3 until I was in the middle of shooting it, because I thought that at the time, Power, the first one, was doing big promotion saying that the show, they were on the season finale. And you know, when you audition, sometimes they give you a fake title to protect the project. So I said, oh, maybe Power, maybe it's just a fake project or a fake title for the project. But when I went in, I just went in very focused. Now, not to be verbose, but to answer your question, to make a long story longer, the difference between the two was I had something to prove as far as to my agent. I wanted to make sure that if you're gonna give me this big audition, I'm gonna be very prepared, and I wanted to book it. But I wanted to book Ballers too, but it was just the stakes were a little different. That's all.
Stakes were high.
The stakes were a little higher because, again, this was this first agent's submission for me, and this is my first time like really working with him. So when he said, "Yo, I got this TV series as a lead," I was like, "Okay, cool. Let me show him that I'm serious about my work." And he let me know he was serious about his work from the project that he submitted, and it worked out. And then I just, I had to move or whatnot.
Well, yeah, good for you. Shout out. Oh, you had to actually move to New York.
Yeah, I've been for a minute. I still have a place in LA, but I live here now.
Now, I always wonder about that. Okay, so you're in New York. Is someone house sitting for you in LA?
No. Well, yes, in the sense that they would check my bills and stuff like that. But I don't like people staying in my place, because I don't like other people's energy in my stuff, because I'm really idiosyncratic about that kind of thing. Like when I let people in my place, because I cut hair too. So when I would cut hair in LA and the dude come in, he'd be like, "Man, my girlfriend, I caught us. You with this other dude." Hold on. Step back outside. Or if I let him in, I say, "Man, why don't you have a drink or something? I got to calm you down, because them vibes will throw you a whole." Because sometimes you'll hang out with somebody, or they come over, they get right in your car, whatever it is, and you look up, and an hour later, you're like, "Why am I mad? Why am I frustrated? Where's this anxiety coming from?" We're not making note of who's been in our atmosphere. So I'll be big on that, man. Sometimes when people they're not in the right mind and spirit, I'd be like, I got to fall back. So this is to say, with my place, I don't want nobody just hanging out. I don't smoke. I don't mind my friends who smoke, but I don't like people smoking in my place. My furniture starts to smell like them. They leave their prints and imprints. I got homies who don't wash their hands. All this kind of stuff.
Got it. Now, what about, does that apply to women also, the energy thing?
Oh, even more so with women, because the connection is more intimate. So, I've read, you got to really be careful. I've cut women. If I feel like a woman is bringing me some sort of stress, and I don't even mean like, like regular, just like if a woman was mad because she wanted to go to this dinery and I want to go someplace else. I'm talking about like if she's coming in with already, like some women like to fight. Some women they like confrontation. They like the whole thing. And I'll be off that. I falls back immediately.
Now, how do you excuse me for cutting you off. Take me through the scenario. A woman comes in, she's talking trash. How do you squash it? How do you say, all right, not right now, not here?
Just like that, I'm like, yo, you got to chill. I mean, but what about? We ain't doing none of that. I keep it right there. And if she can't listen within that, then something wrong. But I'm not finna be yelling at no woman, because I'm just boom, I just shut it down direct. Now, I don't go for none of that. No kind of like we not finna be back and forth. We not finna. And if she doesn't want to listen, cool. I'm like, yo, well,
it ain't real. Would you say, like, I'm at that point now, and it's funny, you found out.
No, you're not at his point. He's young and strong.
And this is the point I'm trying to make.
All right.
If you don't mind, Mr. Lewis
I'm
Dix.
saying you're over 50. We got to talk.
If you don't mind me saying
your
what
women
relationship
are coming in with different energy than his.
No,
women.
But what I was about to say before I was rudely interrupted by my Philadelphian brother, I wish I had that attitude when I was younger, because I fought for stuff that was energy not needed. I mean, think about, London's probably in his 30s, and it's to the point where he's able to say now, man, you know what, I'm gone. And a lot of dudes that age can do that too. But when I was that age, I was like, man, trying to fight for shit. You know, like, come on, babe, you know what? And I look back now and I'm like, man, I wasted 15 years. If I could say in the years I've been in LA, 15 of them were wasted trying to fight for something. And now I can say where he is right now, that's where I'm at. Like literally, Lou, if the energy ain't right, if I don't dig it, I can roll. You show me one inkling of it might be an issue, I'm gone. But what's wrong with you? You act like you've been hurt before. Look, I ain't trying to go through this.
I feel you on that, but can we get back to
No, but I was relating it to him until you took it off the track.
I know, but I want to get back
London,
to
I apologize for
I
this
want to get back to
individual.
someone that's
but
on two.
to what
two
you're
shows.
saying, I understand where you are with this but I've only been able to kind of get to this place for a few reasons. One, because I've always hung out with OGs such as yourself.
Right.
And so I've had guys tell me like, nah, that ain't it. Like, you know, and not to be funny, but at this particular point, you know, I just, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on. So I just don't need any kind of anybody's energy throwing off what's going on. But again, I spoke to a lot of OGs growing up and they told me like, London, I just realized that I like being collected. And the best way to look in control is to stay calm, even when it's not necessarily. It's just, but again, if a woman can't really listen to what I'm trying to tell her within this tone, we already got a problem. I don't feel like that because now that energy just affects everything. So I'll be like, man, and you look up and look, it's like, and every guy has done this, which is sometimes as guys, we will sleep with a woman and you look up and sometimes you don't even finish. And even if you do, you be like, man, I just wasted that for that.
That's true though, man.
I don't when it comes to it, you know, or not now because I ain't in these streets, but as an adult or whatnot, I don't even if I don't want to finish with her, I don't. If I don't want to sleep with her, and I don't care if we go to dinner, we go out, I just don't do it. I just don't. I feel like I like the power that I have and be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to. If you get out of line, then nah, I'm not.
That's
hey,
nice.
let me ask you one question.
Oh, sure.
Are you able to decipher now between a woman that really wants to be with you or wants to be with you because of where you're at? Like in comedy, we've dealt with that. So, and you dealt with that in comedy. But now that you're really pretty much a movie star, television star, are you able to tell which woman is there for you or like she's just digging me because you know who I am?
I'm Marvin Thomas.
Well, like I said, I'm not in these streets right now, but I will say this, just in general, with women's energy, if a woman start off by saying something like I get a DM or inbox and a woman to say, hey, I really like your work. I really like your work as an actor, right? And then if I respond and she says something like, I'm so surprised. I never thought a celebrity would respond. If she come at me that way, then I just fall all the way back because already she has placed me in some esoteric place of stardom somewhere. And I'm like, man, don't see me like that. That's always disappointing when they try to make me seem like that. But I have to realize that people's perception of me is changing and has changed. So I still be trying to do regular stuff. And I have to realize, because my friends remind me, they be like, yo, people looking at you differently, you know, or women do, or whatever the case is. So if they say anything like that, you know, I just fall all the way back.
But there is a difference, and I think you should embrace that in some aspects because there is a difference. I mean, on the comedy scene, when you're out there and you're making people laugh, you have touched them in a certain way. And they're not maybe used to having a man or if, you know, a woman, whatever the situation may be, feel like, oh man, they're communicating on my level. So when she said that, I'm not speaking for her, I can't think for her, but she's probably saying like, oh, Staps, like he is down to earth. He hit me back. You know, it might be that situation. Now if it's right. But if it's that situation at the end where it's like, oh, by the way, you know, what are you doing tomorrow night? Then you like, hold on. I understand, you know.
Right now, like you said, but that's why I communicate because I do feel very regular. I just, you know, and both y'all have done TV and everything like that. So it's really just a matter of our job, or even when we do stand-up, the job is public. You know what I mean? But we really are I'm just a really regular guy. But
Down to
I
earth,
just don't
quiet.
like
Yeah.
when they see, people think because I work with Dwayne Johnson or 50 Cent that I make their money. And I'm like, I'm not that dude. I'm just a working artist. I'm not in the Hamptons or, I still got a lot of work to do. But I get it. So that's why I'm not in these streets, man. I chill. I'm good.
I know you. I've followed you a little bit, and so that DM stuff is really real, huh? The whole thing where that's how you young people link up. That's your apps.
That's how people. That is how people connect. People go. I mean, it just depends on what level you trying to connect on. But people do use it. It's the new, instead of asking a woman for a phone number, you just go to the gram. And then also what the gram provides is a small buffer between people getting too close, in the sense of, as opposed to calling my phone, you can let them exist in the social media world. And then at any point when you want to cut them off, if she's not crazy, you can just block them, or you can dismiss them or unfriend them, or so forth. Now, some people crazy. They want to go past that, and that's a whole other level, but that's what I don't have time for. When I start seeing signs of crazy, like let's just say, if I talk to a woman and she don't blink, I got
Hey,
I don't play.
I want to ask you. We're gonna let you get out of here. I know you're busy. In your show Power Book, your character Marvin, and you have a brother Lulu, right? If I'm correct.
Yes.
And you guys don't have the best relationship. I know there was a scene where you got into a fight and y'all were going at each other, talking about each other's hygiene, and then eventually you saved him from explosion in his house. Now, knowing somewhat about you, your brother passed. Peace to your heart on that. And does that play into your relationship with and how do you when you approach that character?
Yes, in the sense that like people think, when they think of us, when they think of people losing someone like that, because my brother was gunned down, so it wasn't even like an accident, or it wasn't like cancer, and those things are fatal too. But his life was taken, and so when those things happen, it causes you. One of the positives is that it puts things in perspective, and you recognize that time is precious. So when I lost my brother, and everybody's at the service, and all these positive ideas of feedback for him, it just made me realize, like, how do I want to be remembered? So it caused me to be a lot kinder, a lot more empathetic, and a lot more passionate about everything and most things. So as far as the show, it wasn't even hard, or I wasn't like I had to pull from my brother's experience to deal with the character of Marvin and his whole situation. The writers are really good, so I just was able to be present. But the jokes that I get on social media is that because in the show, I go through about 4 cars. 2 of them I wreck. So people are just like, man, Marvin done crashed his car. Man, he's such a bad driver. I wonder how much his insurance gonna be, right? Now, there's a couple of layers to that. The surface layer is Marvin is a solid alpha male street dude. He's not doing no paperwork at the DMV. So he's a gangster. The car ain't even legal. It ain't even in his name. He just swapped the cards out every couple months and keep it moving. So there's no such thing as no insurance. The second thing is, the reason that Marvin even got into a car accident both times was because of the loyalty that he had for his family. The first time, his nephew was about to get jacked, about to get robbed. So Marvin was just like, he didn't know what was going on. He just knew he had to interrupt the situation. If that meant killing somebody, running into somebody, wrecking his car, killing himself, it didn't matter. That was his nephew. That's the loyalty. The other one was when Marvin went, when he went to save his brother out the burning house, Marvin was being shot at. So that was another reason why he wrecked his car. But he didn't care if he was going to get shot or not. All he knew was that he had to interrupt the situation, go save his brother. So when it comes to my brother and connecting that to the show, the loyalty that London has with his family is the same loyalty that Marvin has for his. So it's not hard to play the dynamics of a family because I share those same ideas with mine. And that's how those two ideas kind of connected. It's just making sure like the love and the loyalty. Like the show really is like a family, it's a family driven show. It's about a family growing up and trying to make things happen and the conflicts they go through along the way. But love and loyalty is what drives the family of Raising Canaan.
That's great. I was wondering, we were talking about our theme is about what a man should know by the age of 21. What are some of the things you feel a man should know by the age of 21? How to do or things he should know?
He should realize in the back of his mind, he should always, unless he says you're my girlfriend and she says you're my boyfriend and they are in a committed, solid relationship, don't ever think you're the only one. Mm-hmm. Don't think that, okay, what you got going on? Some guys think, I know, because I used to think like this when I was younger. That's why now at this point, people go to my Instagram, they be like, man, how you be knowing all this stuff? And not to be funny, but if the guy's unattractive in his high school years, if a guy's unattractive in his high school years, he ain't gonna really figure out the game until maybe, well after in life when he start getting women. But if you start attracting the energy of women early on, you start going through things early on. So my point is that as a guy, our ego makes us feel like we the only ones. So, a guy may go, y'all know because y'all tour on the road, guys may go on a tour, a guy may go off to college, play basketball, think his girl waiting on him. I'm like, listen, bro, and especially today, the game has changed. Yeah, women are not sitting at home just twiddling their thumbs. They're not just, on just looking at social media and then just watching, watching Martin. Women are active. They out here. They aggressive. What's good? They way more in these streets. So I would tell the dude, one, you're not the only one. So prepare yourself mentally for that. The next thing is, I would tell him to always slow down and process whatever it is. If she says if you did something wrong before you go off, slow down the process and see if you did something wrong. Within life, within anything, just slow down and process. Sometimes guys are so emotional that they miss it, and I think a lot of that contributes to lame behavior. That's why I see guys, right? The girl will do something they don't like, or she break up, he find out something. Let me put it this way. Let me some kind of encapsulate it this way. A lot of guys are picking up what I think is like beta male behavior or these soft behaviors. Like they'll do things like the girl do something wrong to them. They go on social media. Yeah. They'll go on social media, right? And then they'll blast the girl and put out the information about her. I'd be like, yo, don't get messy. Those are a lot of feminine traits. Like a lot of women will get catty. I'm like, dude, we can't be doing all of that. Just slow down.
And then go back to her. That's the bad thing.
And go back to her and accept all that drama.
Yep.
As we get older, we recognize the same thing that Ice Cube felt, that Snoop and Jay realized when it was over there, when it was signing the record labels. Peace of mind is over everything. Like it's just not worth the situation. Even if a woman's like, if a woman's not interested, because guys do that, they'll buy a woman a drink, and then after they buy the woman a drink, she walk off and they mad. I'm like, nah, don't be mad. Just it's cool. Just go find somebody else. Mm-hmm. But you got to be a real secure guy to do that. And so I would always advise somebody, if you're a young dude, you didn't grow up with a father, that's okay. Life happens, might be in jail, might be dead, whatever the case is. Find a solid OG to get some game from, so you don't be out here looking like these goofies. I mean, find somebody that's 45 and up that really been through the game, that been with women and, secure dudes to really soak up the game from. Because if not, you're going to be one of these dudes out here in jail because you punched a girl because she was looking at another dude and you get reckless. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
I'm
lot of
going.
dummies. It's a lot of dummies in jail.
Hey, listen, before I let you go, I just want to first thank you for taking the time. Appreciate
No,
it.
my pleasure, man.
And,
I had to take the call. Of
and
course.
I wanted you to say, if you could, before you go, your brother's full name. Your brother.
Wendell Deshaun Lee.
Say it again. We didn't.
Wendell Deshaun Lee.
Much respect to you and him. Thank you, London. Have a great day.
Thank you, man. Peace.
All right.
Peace.
All right, London, be up, baby.
Of course, brother.
That was nice.
Always been a class cat.
Yeah, he is.
He's been a solid dude.
Right now, is this my man on the phone? My man, I'm going to introduce him. I believe he was born in Kansas. This is so cool when cats just actually call on time. He now lives in L.A. You've seen him on Byron Allen's Comics Unleashed, Comedy TV, Showtime, The Men of Laughing Matters, and he's a fitness guru. Please welcome comedian Andre Kelly. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, Kelly, I know Kelly. What's up, Andre?
He's on the phone.
Oh, my fault. What's up, Andre?
Can we hear you?
I can hear you guys. Who
Yeah.
is this? Who is there?
Oh, that's Dannon Green.
Oh, Dannon, of course I know Dannon. His crazy post on Facebook.
What's up, baby boy? You good?
How are you?
How you doing, sir? I am well. How are you guys?
Good. We're gonna put your picture up so people can see you, so they can see why you're. First of all, thanks for calling. We just got off the phone with, a Zoom with London Brown. That's who we were talking with. And
Oh, yeah, I knew his voice. Yeah.
yeah. So first of all, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm sitting here in day job, so excuse me if you hear anybody coming to my face.
That's cool. We're looking at a picture of you now in the blue shirt. Looks like you're on some kind of thing with your arms showing your triceps.
Yeah, he always does
Oh, now
that.
we've seen a picture of you with 100 on the shirt and you're flexing. And
That's just hamburgers and milkshakes and stuff like that.
well, you look great. First of all, I want to start off with the question we always start off. How did you get into comedy?
Oh, God. I go way back. Like you guys. I started in the 80s during the comedy boom.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the Midwest in Kansas City, Stanford and Sons, Punchline. What's that place?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, I was a club kid in the Midwest back with Eddie Griffin and that group back in like '87.
Oh, so you were there with Eddie and all that, and how was that scene? You, Eddie, and all the other comics in the Midwest. Was it?
It was very different. Yeah.
In what way?
Very different. Pre-Def Jam.
Okay, so that means everyone had an act.
Well, you had to. It was pretty much mostly white community, so you had to do things a certain way according to their standards, and that's one of the reasons Eddie had to get up and go to come and start his career in L.A. early. I managed to eke it out and stay for a few years until I moved to Chicago, where I met everyone else in the early '90s.
Okay, so you migrated to Chicago, and that's what I guess that was around the time that Craig Robinson and other different people were doing stand up, right? Bernie.
All of them. I literally got to watch everyone start their careers from open mic to where they are now. That's one of the most exciting things in my life.
So was that Dion Cole also? Who were some of the ones?
Cole, Shay, Godfrey, Craig Robinson, all of those guys. They literally started in the early '90s. Corey Holcomb. Yeah. They were funny then. They're funnier now. Even D. Ray Davis. I can't believe all those guys literally came out of the same graduating class.
Wow. Now, what did you got? Was it a clique? Were you all friends, or was it? How did that work?
Well, I worked primarily what they call the white clubs at the time. Zanies, the Improv, the Funny Firm down in the Chicago Loop, and then a lot of them started at All Jokes Aside and other area clubs.
So did you ever venture, and full disclosure, we know each other well, so I kind of know some of the answers to these questions, but I want the 17 listeners we have to hear the answers. But did you do any of the black rooms? How was that? Or did you stay in your lane? Or what was some experiences?
You know what? The best experiences I had along with theirs were at All Jokes Aside because it was about Raymond.
Okay. Hey, do me a favor, Andre. Can we hang up and have you call back so the connection can be better? Is that possible? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no problem.
All right. So hang up and then call back, and we'll put him back because we couldn't really hear him. That's what our producer said.
That's what she said. I heard him clearly.
I heard, but
But if she
the
can't hear
boss,
him, then yeah,
and
she's
that's
the boss.
you know, maybe people in the chat room. Hello to people in the chat room.
Yeah, hello to y'all.
Yeah, y'all. Well, we know you guys haven't really said anything too hard because the boss lady hasn't fallen back yet, laughing.
Well, I appreciate to be the jokes of all the jokes.
She was, and I love Andre Kelly. He's a great guy.
I've known him for a while.
So you've known him for?
Oh yeah, I know Andre very well.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he's just nice. He's just consistent.
Good guy.
And London Brown was consistent.
Solid.
How thoughtful and
solid.
I mean,
But he's always been like that. He's been a solid dude, young boy.
The whole energy. I guess it's a lot of people that if I went with the energy thing, I would not have known.
Yeah, you know how sometimes, Lou, it's certain people that on the comedy scene, you don't have to be around them all the time, but when you see him, y'all got a connection. Like he's solid, and he respects you. That's just how London is.
Yeah, he's always been. I mean, I've seen him grinding.
Yeah,
like he was sitting in the car working on his jokes before he came into the comedy union. And one day we're gonna have to get Enz Mitchell to
I think
talk.
we really should. I mean,
Enz
gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities.
Yeah,
when we did, obviously Michael Williams is somebody that I think that I don't know if
maybe
you've
we
got
should
Mike.
have
Probably Mike first. Maybe we should have all three of them come up with one day.
That'd be
get their
great to have him. Yeah, that'd be
Mike. I would go Mike, Enz, and J. Anthony Brown.
Okay. All right. Hey, Andre, you back? Hello? Okay. Andre's not back.
No, she's not back. She just wanted to have us say the word "try" again. What's wrong with her, bro?
You better leave her alone. we this is our third show back.
Oh yeah, okay.
Trying to get.
And
I spoke to TDP.
TDP, you tell me I missed him. What'd you say?
Jeff and I haven't spoken to Jeff, but TDP hasn't. He's still.
Was they mad at you, man? What did you do?
You know how it is, man. Comics, they both mad at me. They both. It's
so,
all right.
So what month will I be mad?
What day? You Philly.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
TDP from LA, Jeff from Chicago.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, you good?
Yeah, I'm on my cell. I don't know if it's the reception or what.
Yeah, we heard you fine.
Okay, that's better. That's better. Hey, thank you for calling back in. So we were discussing, and if you just joined us, this is Andre Kelly, comedian, born in Kansas, now in L.A., and we were talking about him migrating to Chicago and all the comics that he. Now, you said that you went. All jokes aside, was that the first black club you played?
Actually, it was. There were a number of one-night clubs all over the South Side and Midtown Chicago, but All Jokes was the Standard, the Gold Bar, and definitely an A-list room. And that's where we all got to know and work with everybody from Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Monique, Adele Givens. Def Jam used to hold their auditions there and scoop up talent. It was a major, major ground, but not just because of who they showcased, but how they put up and nurtured young talent, literally from open mic levels onward, because they would push us and motivate us, give us notes. They literally made us better. And there's a really great documentary about the rise and fall of the club called Funny Business, and it originally aired on Showtime. You probably can catch it on streaming. And I mean, the full story is in there, but they did a whole lot more with the comics than I even had an idea, and I worked there. But they literally were supporting young comics from day one and making sure that they got better so that when they left to go East or West Coast, they were a reflection of both the club and the teachings and of the city of Chicago. And that's why you see so many strong acts who literally came from that time period under the tutelage of Mary Lindsay, shout out to her, and of course Raymond Lambert, shout out to him. They genuinely cared about young performers and made us better.
Now, who stood out to you from day one that you like, okay, this is fire, he's fire? What was some of
He's going to make it.
It's so weird because I think for the most part, we all had the same general consensus that Godfrey, he was a young kid, good looking, smart, educated, and just went up on stage and would just destroy all the time. But Dion always did this slow, laconic, like talk shit thing that he did, pull the notes out. He was always Dion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, everybody was always strong. Craig was doing what he did. He was literally a music teacher, which I did not know at the time, but he was doing it to meet girls,
Hilarious.
But everyone was good. I mean, Corey Holcomb, no filter then. He was just insane.
So he started off with no filter like he is now.
he's never, like, he could get away, he could mug an audience into loving him instantly. Just insanely talented. I watched 2 Def Jam auditions. I remember one night, they had like a 7 o'clock show and a 9 o'clock show. All the comics did like 5-10 minutes apiece. Every single person destroyed. There wasn't a weak link in that. That's how Chicago was. You either had to bring it or just sit down. It was an amazing time to be a young performer back in the 90s.
Now, now Bernie Mac, did you see him?
Yeah, Bernie had a nice little lounge room in the Chicago Loop. I performed with him too. He was a very, very strong proponent of young performers. Yeah.
Was Bernie's spot? Did he have a place called the Cotton Club where he was like, it was music and comedy? Was that the spot?
I heard he worked. I forgot the name of his club, but he did have a really tiny spot in the Chicago area,
right,
north of All Jokes. I don't know if that was the name of it though.
Okay,
but he was everywhere too. He worked for years. He and his wife holding him down.
Now, how long were you in Chicago before you made your way to L.A.?
I did Chicago for about 7 years, 93 to 2000.
What made you come to L.A.? Just to stand up?
Well, at some point, I decided, I was talking to HBO at the time, and they told me flat out back then, they said, you're going to have to make a choice, East or West Coast. And I decided that since I'd worked with everybody, and they all more or less ended up in Los Angeles, that would be my best bet. Plus, I had a place to stay out here and with some friends from the Midwest. So it just seemed like the natural choice to go this way, and probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you, because I ask a lot of comics this, who makes you laugh, and who would you pay to see?
That's a very good question, because to this day, 30-something years later, I still go to shows all the time and still love it, still laugh, and still I feel like it's the first time. I'm a huge fan of Dave Chappelle, obviously. We all are. Huge fan of Chris Rock. A lot of my female mentors are no longer here, but I got a chance to hang out with Joan Rivers when she did a screening of her documentary, A Piece of Work, a few years ago back at ArcLight. She was one of my favorites.
How was that conversation with her?
Oh, she's an old school workhorse. I mean, when you get around somebody like that, she worked like she was hungry till the day she died, literally. But all my earliest idols were monologists like Jerry Seinfeld, Elaine Boozler, the kind of folks that were on Carson routinely and whose careers were made overnight. Roseanne, before she went crazy. I got to meet her at a benefit at the Wiltern Theater a few years ago. Folks like that who had solid, full personas and brands and sets that you could learn from every single time. Yeah, Chris, Bill Hicks was one of my demigods to this very day. He passed early in his career from cancer. But I got to work with him a number of times as an MC. And the kind of performers you just can never get sick of watching. Dave and him and guys like that. Absolutely. To this day, I'm still amazed by them.
And you spoke of Dave Chappelle. I wanted to ask you, what subject that you will not touch as far as your stand-up?
Here we go.
No. That's just the only question I'm asking. It's just that question. Because he talks about certain things that people like. I just want to know from you, comedy-wise, what subject you wouldn't touch. Because I know certain things I don't want to joke about.
Here's the deal. I'm a writer, first and foremost. I majored in journalism. I believe and love and worship the written, spoken, and broadcast word. I don't believe in any subject that cannot be broached from a humorous vein, be it the Holocaust, cancer jokes, whatever. It's about the person handling it and the intent and the content and the relevance in which it's directed. That said, there are no subjects to me that are off limits as far as from an appreciation point of view. Now, as far as my particular skill set and where I'm at as a performer, I don't have that, ability to do just about everything. But I do believe in the fact that anything is fair game. I truly, honestly believe that. It's about intent and delivery. That's just my personal view.
I feel the same. My thing, and I don't know about you, Lou and Andre, but kind of on the line of what you're saying, my whole thing is about this when it comes to subject matter. If I don't know about it, understand it, then I won't touch it. So a lot of things that, for instance, when I first came to LA, I did not know a lot about the Jewish community. So when I came here, I was dating this young lady, and with the Jewish guys had the yarmulkes on top of their head. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna make a joke up about that. You know what I mean? And she pretty much said, she was from England, white woman. She said, I wouldn't really go there right now. You know what I mean? She said I wouldn't talk about that.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking to myself, religion and or people, unless you really understand it, then you shouldn't. Because I have a Jewish friend who was a female, and she would give me information, like words to say, like if you say this on stage, you'll get a laugh. But then I kept telling her, like, I couldn't pronounce half of, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to mess it up and say it wrong.
Exactly.
So I believe that, I really truly believe that, and I agree with you. I don't believe anything is off limit. I believe the presentation of it is what, because, Lou, anybody's going to be offended. I used to be very, very self-conscious about my speech and my lips when I was young, and even when I got older, and to the point when I said, you know what, I have to jump in front of it, make jokes about it, so I can become comfortable. So I believe that anything is on limit as long as you know what you talk about.
That's a good. I loved your answer, Andre. I thought that was a perfect answer. Our theme today is we're talking about things that men should know by the age of 21. Now, what are some of the things that you think a man should know by the age of 21?
This is one of my favorite subjects because, as you know, I'm a man of a certain age. And I tend to work out and hang out and party with guys a little younger than me, I would say, as far as LA goes. So I'm always amazed by the mindsets of guys in their 20s and their 30s about the things that I just assume and think that they should and already know. And they open their mouths, and I'm just dumbfounded. Like, dude, really, seriously? So I have three things, and they all start with the letter C. Here's the three things that I think men of a certain age should know by their 20s. Number one, learn how to cook. It's really not a big deal. And some of the best cooks in the world, as you already know, are men, okay? And I'm not talking about, oatmeal or, frying a fucking egg. Get on the phone with your friends. Get on the phone with your friends and older family members, your mom and your dad. It's a bonding thing. My dad and I talk about sports. We talk about cooking. We talk about political things. To this day, and we pass the recipes on that are handed down from generation. Learn how to cook. And by the way, if it matters to you, women love a dude who knows how to cook. Basically, it's like the most simplest thing about taking care of yourself. You shouldn't rely on a woman or Uber or Grubhub to fucking get a meal. Learn how to fucking cook. It's not a big deal. Be self-sufficient. Number two, consideration for others. It's a really old school tenet, but it's as basic as opening a door for a young lady. You don't open the door because she's a woman. You open the door because you are a gentleman. Always have consideration for other people. I don't say please, say thank you, use people's titles. It's just simply treat other people how you want to be treated. It's a very, very old school concept. And finally, and the most important thing, especially for young men of color, at any stage in life, I'm going to use the C word here. It's called condoms. You guys, and this shit you're doing with these women, you don't know these girls. Y'all are nasty. Stop it.
I did not see that coming.
My first set of condoms came from my mother. Use the condoms. Bring them back. You can be a hoe. You can be the biggest hoe you want. Go out there, get your experience, have fun, learn, but protect yourself.
Right.
So many celebrity scandals right now could be completely avoided with that C word. Condoms. Bring them back, y'all. Bring them back.
And a lot of money could have been saved.
Not that lambskin crap either.
Hey, listen, before I let you go, I wanted to, if you can give us a social media where they can contact you and see you.
I am the only guy who's still not on Instagram yet. That is coming. My lawyer is on my ass, but you can still find me on Facebook. Andre Kelly, ANDRE, KELLEY. And you can catch me on gosh, I got a series of commercials coming out with Cardi B in the next few weeks. Look for those online and on ABC when she hosts the American Music Awards next week, I believe.
Congratulations,
man.
I really appreciate you taking the time. Of course, we go way back. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you soon, man. Thank you so much, Dre.
And you too. Thanks for talking to me, guys.
Take care, Dre.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a good day, Shannon.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
He's called you Shannon.
I thought we were friends, Dre.
He called you Shannon.
Shannon. Yeah.
Shannon Green.
Shannon Green.
Hey,
That's not bad,
that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's a good stage
I could have
name.
went with that.
Sergeant Green.
Yeah, Shannon Green.
Hey, please welcome to the stage,
Shannon Green, a.k.a. Dannon Green.
Yeah. The D and the S, which one serves you?
Well, I'm going to go D because the S would I be spitting. I'd say my name too much.
Shannon Green.
Shannon Green.
Hey, I'm Lewis Dix.
I'm Dannon Green.
And this is, what's the name of the show?
I don't know. It's your show.
In the Man's World. In the Man's World. Look, man, London Brown, Andre Kelly. I mean, and you walking in. This has been a great show. We're gonna take a quick break, but wait, no, I'm sorry, we don't have enough talent to take a break.
Yeah, man. Let's
because
talk,
if
man.
if we
See, Lewis, that's how you can tell when somebody's been bougie all their life and been on network. We're gonna take a break. Like, no, those days are over. You had no commercials.
No.
Let's keep talking.
For those of you who are excited and love the show Bigger on BET, we have one of the stars joining us soon. Comedian, of course, but he's an actor. And so it's just so beautiful how these comics can transition into acting with ease.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's been that way forever.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, because sports-wise, and I meant to ask London this and Andre, but I was thinking about the great comics and I was comparing them to sports. Like, who is the Bill Russell of comedy?
Okay.
And I would say Dr. Cosby.
I would say Bill. Yeah, okay.
Dr. Cosby.
Yeah. Very,
Okay.
very. In terms of attitude and how he
And
perceives
the
himself.
time
blackness,
period,
yes.
and the time period
yes.
that he dominated.
Yes.
And then I was thinking Michael Jordan, of course, is Eddie Murphy
Okay.
in my mind.
Okay.
And then Kobe is, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart.
I would say LeBron.
Okay, well,
I would say because
Kobe, was,
LeBron is Dave Chappelle's the LeBron.
and then
of
Kevin
comedy.
Hart's who's Kobe?
I would say maybe Kev, maybe.
But
yeah.
see, I say
Well,
I say Dave Chappelle is Kobe because of the attitude.
No, but
His
I would say
attitude, and Kobe just didn't take any prisoners, and Dave Chappelle doesn't take any prisoners.
But I would say Kev is more like Kobe because
no, Kev ain't got that killer like Kobe.
but he has. Let me put it this way: not in terms of attitude with Kobe, but if you know something about Kobe, which is kind of weird, when he passed, I think unfortunately he only gets the juice when it comes to comparison. But they really don't really talk about Kobe the way. I don't know. It's like it was some type of endearment. You know what I mean? It's something that's missing slightly, and I think that sometimes the same with Kev slightly.
No,
talented.
I'm saying as far as their playing style, their game, and because see,
So you're saying Dave is Kobe?
yeah, because Kobe would put his foot on your throat, and Dave is like, I'm doing me.
So who's LeBron?
LeBron is more so Kevin Hart. He gets along with everyone. Everybody loves him. LeBron is just everybody's Space Jam.
Okay. All right. So here's a good question then, since you want to go there. Who are you?
Oh, I got to think of a journeyman. I've never thought about me. I'll give that some thought.
I have one for me.
Who?
I would say Scottie Pippen.
No, you're not Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen won championship. You're not. You got to have a TV series. You got to have a TV series.
So you're saying that being in a number of commercials and doing shows, I have to have a series?
Yeah.
And that's Scottie. That's Scottie right there.
No.
Disrespected. Scottie.
No,
I help you get
Scottie.
there. Okay. Who would
callers,
you say?
Callers.
Who would you say then?
323. Let me tell you.
Okay.
323-815-4204. And even the boss lady can tell us if they're saying it in the chat room. And
only the real ones now. Don't
no,
get the ones.
if they make her laugh, then we know it's funny. We can, but no, okay.
No, No, because I look at you. No, stop. I'm gonna say this. When I look at you and know your career,
right.
and know that really you've done a lot, Lewis.
Right. Yeah, but like Mark Curry it could be a Scottie. Even Cat Williams.
No, it's Cat. No.
Cat, so who is Cat? Who is Cat?
I'll get Cat more like a.
I'm gonna put
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
Okay, I like that. That's a good one.
That's
for
a
Cat.
good one.
That's a good one for Cat.
That's a good one, Allen Iverson.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
But
yeah.
I definitely. You said who did you just say a Cat was before that?
I was thinking maybe Kevin Durant.
No. They said I'm AC Green.
Oh shit. I'm in trouble. AC Green.
And that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Whoever said that was a good one.
I can't see you as. I look at you. See.
Let's just. We got to look at it. I think that's something we need to discuss. With like this week, if you going out of town, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving town tonight.
So you're
afternoon.
You're going to work.
Yeah.
So you'll be in a hotel.
Yeah.
Chilling. So if you take time, let's think about it for next week.
Well, if I don't get lucky, I ain't gonna think about nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I watch the energy, like
yeah,
London said.
Yeah.
Okay, so they said Dannon is like Michael Phelps.
But that's not basketball.
That's not basketball.
It's swimming.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
We're
trying to stick it with basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball. Okay. So, who would Jeff Arnold be?
Let's go.
But now let's first of all let's say It's not a diss because you're in the league.
You're in the league, yes.
You're in the league.
So don't get mad
Don't
if
get
you
mad
ain't starting.
If you ain't starting. But you in the league.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna get a
So
pension.
so who would be Jeff Arnold?
You in the league. So I don't know. I mean, it's
That's 80s, 90s.
And Jeff, because Jeff thinks he's a straight up hooper. Jeff can go. He says he played for UNLV, but there's no record of it.
Yeah, I've Googled this many of times.
Oh, because he's told you, right?
Yeah, and I've never seen him.
Oh, he's.
And then I had to talk to Reggie
so
Theus.
maybe,
Reggie Theus is my boy.
Okay,
and
so
that was
maybe,
Mr. UNLV.
Maybe if we talk about Jeff enough, he'll come back, and to where he'll have to defend himself. Okay, so all right, I'd like that. I'd like that. We got to see who else is a top comic working now.
Chris Spencer.
Chris Spencer. Who is Chris Spencer? That's interesting because he had Vibe. He's directing movies now. So we got to figure that out. I'm gonna,
let's give him a position and then say.
I don't know, but I'm gonna start asking these comics I know who they think they are in basketball wise.
So I would say Chris Spencer is a guard, and I would give him maybe Norm Nixon. He's an LA guy. He's been successful.
I can see that.
I think he's a little bigger than Norm now.
No.
Damn.
Norm's got championships. Norm got Debbie Allen. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Chris Spencer's Norm Nixon.
Yeah, I mean, let's. But that's interesting. I'm Lewis Dix.
I'm Dannon Green.
And Chase is a basketball player who's coming up, so I think he'll have a
who.
Chase Anthony. He's an actor, comedian, and he works with Sinbad a lot. And I think he's related to Sinbad. But he has an interesting story, too. And hopefully I don't know if he wants to share that. That's why I was asking London. I thought that was a great answer in reference to his brother.
Yeah.
And he just seems like at peace.
I knew his brother had passed. I never knew his brother had gotten killed.
Yeah, his brother was, I guess, getting ready to sign with the Lakers, too. He was a really good athlete.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I knew all that before.
Right.
I even did research on him, and the research is interesting. Whenever I do
on London,
on anybody,
yeah.
I'm trying to do it the right way by doing homework. Because before we used to just show up, and the boss lady said you can't come back here just showing up. Do some work, and know what you're talking about.
Right. But if you know the guy, you know the guy.
Yeah, but you still want to ask some questions that you know.
Right.
You want to act like his whole thing from that was interesting that he had an agent that let him go.
But you know what? When I thought of that, when he said that, you know who I thought of?
Who?
I thought of Dave Chappelle. I thought of Dave when he talked about how when he went to HBO with his show, and it was like, "What do we need you for?"
Yeah, we got Chris Rock.
And you remember, even when Dave went in with that show, he had already been. Dave's really pretty much been a star through the white clubs.
Right.
So let's not get it twisted.
But I mean, that had to be kind of. I meant to ask a follow-up question. Was with London, was that shocking? Because here it is, you're on TV for 5 years with a hit series, and then your agent says, "We think we're too."
But the problem with HBO, I think it's not like regular TV in some aspect, and because you think about a lot of people from The Sopranos. I mean, how many have outside of the lady, the mom,
and the guy?
Yeah, you don't really, you know what I'm saying? So even though a lot of those guys are working actors anyway already, but it's just not like it's something that projected onto a next level.
But
you know
they're different. I mean, let's be honest. Different things happen to different people.
And it's a different time too, because now, unlike before, where if someone had a 5-year show, you definitely going to go ahead and crack them. Stay on them because he's going to get something else. The agents don't even do what they did to get us. I mean, they don't go out to the clubs no more, Lou.
Yeah, but he showed them.
He showed them.
He showed them. He went and got another agent believed in him, and he showed them, and now he's on Power Book 3, which is that for us? Okay, we have a caller. Hey, caller.
Lou.
Yo.
What's going on? This is Jeremy from the DMV.
Hey, what's up, Jeremy from the DMV?
Is that?
No, this is just a caller who used to call when we were here, and
but I'm saying the DMV. Is he work at the DMV or?
I don't know.
No, DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, I just had to make sure, bro. I know he was on your lunch break.
How's your family, Jeremy?
Hey, family's great, man. Everybody's doing well. How about yours?
Hey, everybody's good. We're the kids. Nobody's pregnant, and the son had a little accident. A car accident. So messed up his car. He was drinking a little bit, but I got there before the cops got there and got him out. So
that's good.
That's good. Thank God you ain't telling nobody.
Hey, man, it was a learning lesson for him. We
you
knew,
gotta do better
Mom
than
and
that.
I knew it was coming.
Right. We just didn't
We
know
just
when, how
we
bad.
didn't know. You didn't know, and I got that call, and about 12:30, and he was like crying, and I just hit. He said he just hit somebody, and I thought he hit somebody.
Like a person.
Yes. So I'm flying to get to him because my main thing is. Then he kind of called me back and said, "No, I hit a car. It was parked car." And I'm like, "Cool." Only thing I was thinking, well, let me get to you first before the cops.
Right. Let's hide the body.
And, you know,
then-
and then I was going, and
Let's get rid of the body.
I'm thinking like this, honestly, and I know this is, you shouldn't think like this. I'm thinking like, let me get him away in his car, and then if the cops come, I'll say I was driving.
Take the heat.
Because I knew I wasn't drinking.
Right.
So, and that was interesting, but that's enough. But everything's fine. He learned a lesson,
Good.
and he
Well,
doesn't have a
happy
car
safe.
right now, which we're happy.
Right.
So he can
That's
Uber.
good.
So I'm sorry. Now you said, "Yo, not work." I'm sorry, real quick. Hey, I gotta.
So you called in. What's going on?
No, I wanted to comment on the on who you are, the basketball players comparable.
Oh, good.
All right. Okay. So go ahead.
Hey,
So I think Lewis is Derek Fisher.
Okay.
No, I think that's too much. Chase said he can't get into Zoom. I don't know what I'm.
So Lewis, Derek Fisher. Who am I?
So you would be maybe John Starks.
Starks?
Yeah.
Starks was a baller, but why Starks?
Because they were, I say John Starks because they never really made it to that next level as elite.
Okay.
But was always there. Because remember in the 90s, the Knicks were very good. I grew up watching the Knicks. So I used to always watch, because I love the not Akeem Olajuwon.
Patrick Ewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. Yeah. So John Starks, I didn't get to that level, but I'm still in the game. So what would get me to the next level? I mean, what would change?
I mean, just like I hear what you're saying, D. I don't think I'm Derek Fisher, but I appreciate that.
But so you're saying TV show. I mean, I'm saying you've done, but he got me as John Starks, but I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm with it.
You in the league.
I'm still in the league. I made the team. So I'm not taking it personal.
Let me break it down. I gave Lewis Derek Fisher because they went to the championship. He was with a big name. He was with Kobe and Shaq, the two biggest names.
But what about Lou? Who was he with?
Say what now?
But who was Lou? Who was with?
Lou was with Cosby. Remember, Lou used to open up for Bill Cosby. Him and Cosby were.
Okay, so I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Okay,
that's
good.
He
was on the Cosby team.
Yeah.
No, I'm in the '90s. I could see Derek Fisher. I was running a little bit. I had a little game. Okay, I had a little game.
And you were doing your thing in the early '90s, mid '90s. You were. Everybody wanted. To be honest with you, a lot of people want to be in your position.
And I'm still here.
And you still in the game.
So, hey, let me.
Somebody said that you were Noses Malone.
Oh, Noses Malone. Man.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, man, thank you so much for, I don't know if you're listening, but I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man. And I'm going to take that John Starks thing. I like that.
I've been waiting for the man's word to come back, Lou, so I'm really glad you're back with the poetess. Because this is bringing back nostalgia, man. So, congrats.
Well, thank you, man. Much respect, man. Please call back again.
Yes.
We're out.
All right.
Noses Malone?
Yeah. They hit me to my nose. Yeah. And that was like your list is my nose thing. That's why I was.
So neither one of us is going to be invited to certain parties. Like you, never a cocaine party.
No. And that's
never
why
a cocaine party.
I used to do a joke. I got in front of it like you said about my nose.
Mm-hmm.
It said, "Yep, same thing." Chase's. Well, let's see if we can just get Chase to call in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know what though, when speaking about getting in front of it, Lou, that's what I did, but I think I did it because of Guy Torrey. You know what I mean? Because when I used to open up at the Comedy Store for Guy, he would go on and go right at me, right after it. So what I would do is said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get on stage. I'm gonna talk about my list. I'm gonna make people laugh, and then I'm gonna be able to kill whatever he did to come behind me, and it worked. So you got it, so. But you, in your case, no cocaine parties, no party, nope.
Okay, boom. Okay, I just sent the wrong number to my basketball chat. But no, that was okay. Good. Chase is gonna be joining us in a minute, and so he can help save the show because we were struggling. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. That was a great call, but I like that. That's a good thing. We have to keep that in.
You can say that I created it. I mean, thank you. Damn, but I need some. So when the sponsorship come in, I need some of that. sponsorship.
Oh, so like
That's gonna be a segment. Yeah.
It goes to series.
You're gonna go to series. This is where I can graduate from John Starks and maybe be Maurice Cheeks.
He said, Andre just hit me and said, apologize. He was rushing off, and he wanted to say he apologized calling you Shannon.
Oh, no. Okay, no problem, Dre. No problem. I'll just know what to call you next time.
Shannon
There's
was,
levels to relationships that, like, I don't know if I want. Like, I didn't know that there was enough love in a relationship that made a woman think it's okay to come and talk to you on the toilet. What is that? Any woman can yell out, like, what is going, like, tell me, what is so important, too? And I think that y'all know that y'all broke in the bathroom, because y'all be surprised. Y'all pop in like a magician, like, hey. And the worst thing a man could ever see you do is get comfortable. When they sit on a tub in front of you, like, what the hell? She getting comfortable, what the hell? Then they sit down happy, like, hey. Like, this is not a happy situation. This is not.
that's my man. He's born in Atlanta, and this is, again, I Googled it, so I hope it's right. He's born in Atlanta, raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's an actor, comedian. And you've seen him in such films as Journey of a Goddess, Love and Trust, and TV shows Grey's Anatomy, Lethal Weapon. And currently, he stars in the hit BET series Bigger as Dion Lewis. Please welcome Chase Anthony. Thank you, Chase.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing?
Chase.
Do you know
Man,
Dannon?
I got no complaints.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm just making sure
This is my guy. We have battled for commercials and everything else together.
Oh.
Yeah.
What
Every
up,
time
Chase?
every time I see Dannon, I just want to literally be like this. So, I've been up on my boxing,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Yes, sir. How you been, brother?
man, I got no complaints.
Looking
I have
good.
no complaints.
Looking good.
Hey, first of all, thank you for joining us. Sorry about the hiccup. And I really appreciate you doing this. Because first, let's start with, I wanted to ask you how the casting process was auditioning for Bigger. And going in, did they know you were a comedian?
Going in, yeah, they knew that I definitely was a comedian. So they actually had worries of if I could do drama. So that was the big thing, and it was a different casting process because you go in there, you see all your friends, so you kind of, that's the energy. And then it got to the point where it got down to the last two people, and it was between me and somebody that looked like me with shorter hair that was just way bigger. So you're like, damn, this is what we're doing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's me against the swole version of me, huh?
Okay. Now, when you say you saw a bunch of your friends, was that the casting people or other actors?
Other actors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other actors, you go in there and you see all your comedian comrades, you see all your acting comrades. And so you be in there, and it's hard not to root for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when people are getting cut down, and I've been, on the other side of it as well, outside of Bigger, but man, so some of your comfort also leaves with them. Because when you usually be in your nerves, your homie sitting right there. So you're talking to him like, oh, nah, this, and then, this. And now y'all might be going over jokes, so y'all more comfortable also going over your lines. Once they leave, you like, all right.
So it got down to you, and how many auditions did you have? How many times?
It was 2 auditions, and then we end up testing, doing our our director's session and our network all in one day. So we just kept going. Like, we started in the morning, and then by the end of the night, everybody had this. So you was just sitting in there the whole time, like, man, for hours. They fed us lunch. So
And how did you find out? Was it that night, or your agent called you?
I had to come back because of that whole the comedy thing. I think puts us in a box very quickly. It's like, oh, well, he can't be serious. It's like, well, no, actually, most of us are serious as hell. Like, most of our comedy is from the darkest place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's actually probably more of our forte, but we end up getting put in the box because of the comedic timing. And so I had to come back. My character had to come back the next day. I think they had everybody cast, and me and who I was up against had to come back. So which actually I ended up rooting for him.
So what did you think sealed it for you? What got you the nod?
Sometimes I think it's either chemistry or what they saw in something. Because as much as I was like, oh well, it was this and it was this, you know, when I got the set, they was like, nah, it was this. Like we just was worried about this and we asked this, and you know, just with y'all, it was just a different kind of chemistry.
Or with you and the other cast?
Yeah, with me and I think my love interest, who ended up being my love interest, but you don't find out. I think until the last few episodes of the first season.
Did you know it was going to be such a hit when you first got going, that it was going to do what it did?
Nah, I think that you're already nervous because Will Packer has a certain standard as far as when it comes to his movies and the careers that he's made. So you're not necessarily from a place where you're like, oh, this is bad, but it does put that pressure. It's like, all right, cool. Like the last person that he just popped is Tiffany Haddish, and we see what Tiffany Haddish is doing. Right. That's from a Will Packer produced project, you know, and we know what Kevin does. So it's like all those things. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. I gotta like bring my A game. And then, you know, then you go through the idea of like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we're going on a streaming site. So then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Now I feel the pressure even more because you're one of the first on this streaming network and this platform. So you're like,
are you the only comedian in that group of guys?
Yeah.
Okay. And the rest are actors. Okay. Do you feel pressured to make things funnier when you're working, as far as in your scenes? Do you have to stay away from, say, all right, I'm gonna go with this, I think this would be funny?
Yeah and no. I think that sometimes you don't want to fight the writer.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes that's not your role. So for me in this series, I ended up playing a straight guy more than I did end up getting to do more the comedic undertones. And what I found out was, it was like, nah, it's your reactions. Like you be real mad. Okay. You be mad.
Now, okay, because some people, and being on sets, I know some guys, some actors and some comedians, whatever, are you the kind of guy that just gets along so you can do your job and not be extra, for lack of a better word? What's your attitude?
Yeah, I think that you end up trying to more so create this professional realm because you are a comedian. So you're like, either they have expectations for you to always be funny, or you put those expectations on yourself, and it's like,
I was reading something about you, and it said 10 things you didn't know about Chase Anthony. I was like, okay. I was expecting, you know, and I one thing they said is you like to help other people.
Big facts.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
How do you go about that, and where did that come from?
I think that you kind of pick it up when you grow up in a house full of women.
Yeah, that's right. You have 4 sisters, right?
Yeah. You just actually remind me, I got called one for her birthday. I think that you naturally pick it up because you're like, hey, you got to do this and you got to do this. So you're kind of in that position, and then, you know, you can't help but kind of pick that up also being on the road with somebody like Sinbad. Right. So you kind of groomed in a different way. So you kind of naturally are this way. And then, man, you know, Lewis, like he liked taking care of people.
Right.
Like,
now, are you related to Sinbad?
No.
Okay. Because what happened was I'd stand in for Chase. If Chase was busy, I would get a call. So I was always hoping he was busy to open up for Sinbad. And then somebody was like, Sinbad's like, that's my nephew. I got to take care of him. And I was like, all right. So you're not.
No, he kind of is, but not. So Monica, do you know Monica?
Yeah, I know Monica. Yeah, his sister.
So that's my aunt.
Okay.
So that's why he kind of took me under his wing. But then also too, he wasn't privy to like how comics were getting on the road now. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, so no, you gotta get out there and you gotta do this. It's like, yeah, no, technology, they can follow up on these phone calls. Right. You were just showing up and they didn't have enough technology to say, hey, oh, okay, cool. He wasn't supposed to be here. Right. So but it was a blessing. So it was that Uncle Daddy, Sinbad.
That's but you put your work in too, so you were prepared. Yeah. So that was part of it.
Oh man, yeah. Nah, you are. I mean, we all know. Like Sinbad don't ain't gonna just have you there to have you there.
Now, you said acting is your day job, and why do you say that?
Because I think that for us as comics, like we do have a night job. Like as much as it's during the day, like you know what I'm saying? It's, you're more Bruce Wayne during the day and Batman at night because you do have a full-time day job. You got to be available for auditions. You got to be ready to now do self-tapes, have meetings, do acting classes and all that stuff. So I look at it as like you have two jobs and you got two full-time jobs. So
now you also found out you were an athlete. You played football?
Yeah.
What level? What level?
College.
College where?
At Concordia.
Okay, so later on we got a question that revolves around comics and
what college is that? I don't ever heard of that. What's college?
It's a D2 school in St. Paul's, not Minneapolis.
Okay.
He's
cool.
just saying that because he went to Ohio State, but he didn't play.
I ain't played, but
I went to Sonoma State. I'm Division III, so I totally respect you.
Hilarious.
So I ran a 5.40, so that tells you my level of. I was a long snapper.
Oh.
What position did you play?
I played corner and kick return.
Okay, so that's
speed.
So I snapped the ball to get him to kick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You made his life easier.
Man.
Hey, you have a unique perspective on women because you grew up with 4 sisters. And I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things that you feel a man should know by the age of 21?
Showering. I think that's like the one that you don't want to hear. Like, and when you got sisters, they got no chill, so they like this. Ugh, you stink. And you're like, nah, I smell good. It's like, no, you stink. Either you stink or your clothes stink. One of them stink. So something stink.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that I think that sometimes you be a little rebel and then you realize like that ain't gonna get you to that promised land.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So that's one of the things that you kind of don't know. And then 2, like when you ain't got that many, good shirts, watch the good shirt, man, because you've been around a whole bunch of smokers, you've been out drinking, so like it's a combination of that in your shirt, and you just spray cologne on it.
Right. Now I want to go into something as far as, and you don't have to go into it. I just was curious if you had a perspective on it. The way you grew up, I was reading about that you growing up, and it was challenging in a lot of ways. And because was your father in your life?
No, I've been on my own since I was 15.
Yeah, I want to know how that came about. And
I'm an 80s baby. I'm a product of the 80s. So, our parents will deal with anything from a range of mental health, addiction, just stability in some senses, because we come from, again, that crack epidemic, the drugs being induced, that whole background thing. But I think also too, it just wasn't the same accountability on, I guess, some men. So I left Atlanta and went to Minnesota to stay with my stepdad. My stepdad went through his thing and then he left. So now I was just in Minnesota.
By yourself?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I have like my stepdad's family, so they're my family, but he was still gone. So I was having to work, play sports, pay bills, figure it out.
Okay, I'm just thinking at 15, how does one put that stuff in order? How did you figure out A, B, C, D?
Trial and error, mostly error. But I think that sometimes the reason why you have your friends, your brotherhood, is because they end up kind of taking care of you. So it was coaches, friends, parents, kind of putting their hands on me. And then, I probably will say I come from a good stock. So like my grandma kind of definitely put me in the game as far as I want to say just mental awareness for a Black man. So, you got to do everything, to 110%. So, but she gonna make sure you know about this and know about order, know about structure, know about that. So now you just slowly implement it. And I think my mom knew that like something was coming because she was like, you never have to depend on a woman for anything. So you're gonna know how to cook, clean, wash your own clothes. And
Now, from an ignorant perspective, a lot of people who, including myself, sometimes are ignorant. When we look at someone, we judge a book by its cover. Now, if I look at you, I'm thinking you had a great upbringing, light skin. You don't really see it in your act as far as being angry. So have you dealt with that? A lot of people thinking that you did not grow up the way you grew up with some of the challenges.
Man, I still deal with it again because. Like you're saying, sometimes you could paint a pretty picture, but you don't know where the color came from.
Right.
And so for me, it's definitely been therapy. That's definitely helped. When I worked corporate, had that good insurance and I used it. Mm-hmm. And it for myself, I had to start actually saying it in my set. And then being on the road with somebody like Sinbad, he kind of forces it. Like, all right, cool, man. If you don't talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. It's like, wait, what? And so it started to come out in my set, but then it's also too, you got to understand your audience. Like, it's Sinbad's audience, so I can't necessarily project everything I want right before Sinbad.
Right.
So some of it has been a bit muted, and I feel like I deal with it as far as like in our even comedy community, because I had corporate job before, so I'm not going to wear my struggle. I'm not dressing a certain type of way. I don't feel like that's what makes you a good comedian. And then again, like you said, the light skin, the good hair, all these list of qualities people just put on you. So it's always like, oh, why is this rich nigga doing this? Why is this? He probably come from this. It's like, nah, I'll beat your ass. That's what it'll come down to.
Right. That's the thing. Because I wanted to ask you that. You've opened for Sinbad. So his audience is much older. So what are some of the differences that you noticed from performing in front of his people and then going to a club where it's your people?
You are talking to your parents. You're talking to your aunts and uncles. So like, they see it that way. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, oh, and then again, because of the age difference between me and Sinbad, he'll go up there and talk about it. Like, man, you talked about this again, this. And so he found a way to even spin it on the back end for his audience to be able to kind of talk to their kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm like listen, I'm not the dumbest one of my generation. Like, there's other people that this advice probably would go better for, but we gonna go with it.
Right. Now, then when you walk in front of your peers, do you have a different approach of what you give them?
Yeah, I think it is. But for myself, the one thing that I noticed was it's not as polished. That's not what you have as much muscle memory in as far as where you pivot, where your brain takes you. Because again, like, we can go as raunchy as we want when we're talking about us and it's our show and you came to see me. But at a Sinbad show, it's like, you don't not have to cuss, but you probably won't.
Right.
And that was one thing that, like, he would be like, nah, you say whatever you want to say, but you start realizing what words can do. Like, I could say the same thing in a different way, and that's what he was doing. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get muscle memory in that, but it still feels like, I'm on the road with Sinbad, learning from a legend, learning probably the best way to do comedy. And then you still have Def Jam in the back of your head where it's like, nah, turn up, turn up, like, go out right now. And he'll be like, go out.
Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to ask you, I know you're I don't know if you're dating, but we were talking to London Brown earlier about energy, and he was talking about energy and the women that come in you guys' lives now that you're on TV. Is it different? And how do you handle that?
Yes, it's way different. I will say this. London probably is getting something totally different than I think I'm probably getting. But let's just throw that part out there.
Okay. Well, it's okay. They watching it, so it's
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, but I will say sometimes it's never who you want. It's like, man, I wish this bad one to slide in my DMs. But the one that slid in your DMs that was extra confident, you like this. Damn, yeah, I thought it was gonna be better. I thought it was at least gonna be a 6.
Okay,
with a strong 4 in the DMs.
Really? Now you're talking to two old heads, so we want you to help educate us with the whole DM thing. What is the process? They hit you on your DM, and then what's the next thing that happens if you think you like them or whatever?
You accept them, so it's almost like a graduation. So you see them and, oh, we can set it up like a club, right? So there's VIP, there's like bottle service, there, those elements that are in there. Right now, they just walked in the club. So they just in the general population. And then you might see them and you might be like, oh, okay, cool. Come talk to me in this little holding section. So you got your general, right? And then they might graduate to the primary, which is like just who all your people are in there. So now you're seeing them a little bit more regular, but there's levels to it. And then eventually that primary is the VIP. You sitting down, you pouring your own drinks, or you got somebody pouring it for you. But other than that, it's general population.
Now, does she have to be extra bad to bring her friend into that VIP? Like you can't bring you both can't be common.
Well, no, I mean, in theory, just we've been in LA long enough to know like that. Then what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like either y'all come as a package, which I'm okay with, or y'all just hungry. Like that's what I realized. It's like, all right, well, cool. Y'all wanted to go out like this, and then eventually you get put in the friend zone. So it's like, well, why do we do that?
Now, do you have any questions?
No, go ahead. You're doing well.
No, go ahead. If you have any questions.
No, I don't have none right now.
All right. I'm so glad you're prepared. I was going to ask you, coming from the upbringing you had and the challenges, you now are preparing yourself for your future by saving and purchasing property. Is that where you are now? Is that where are you just living?
Nah, I've been homeless. So my thing is to not go back. Mm-hmm. So I'm an entrepreneur as well as, again, I have my career goals with acting and comedy. So the first bag definitely fucked that up. I messed up that first bag. The second one, was investing in.
And that was from your corporate background to go that way, to make sure that you.
Well, that was the one thing that I'm starting to see with doing comedy and sometimes the conversation that circulates. I think that sometimes you kind of need to work first. You kind of needed college. You needed some of these experiences, or else you really don't have anything to draw from. And the one thing that I started noticing with comedians, there's certain lingo that they just don't understand because they've never worked in an office. So you're saying things to them as far as branding, marketing, promotion, all these things. And it's like, well, I just want to do comedy. I just want to act. Well, it's not act business, it's show business. So like you got to have the show and you can't act like you have your business together. You really do. So for me, it took going back and actually implementing business ethics, more so the structure of certain things. So like, I mean, we know how we can have work and then you can be sitting at home. And you can feel like shit when you're just sitting at home because you ain't got no structure. You got nothing to lean on. For me, again, stocks, like you said, real estate, and then I own a printing company. I got to put my time near. So now I'm not losing it, or I'm not a slave to it. Because that was the one thing I didn't want to do. I don't want to be a slave to my craft in some senses.
We were talking earlier, and thank you for that information. We were talking earlier about where we were ranking comics in an athletic basketball sense. Like we were saying that Bill Russell, Cosby. Dr. Cosby's Bill Russell, and we said
Dave Chappelle was.
I thought Dave Chappelle was Kobe.
I said LeBron,
and I thought Eddie Murphy was Michael Jordan.
You said Kevin Hart was Kobe.
No, I said Kevin Hart was LeBron. I think Dave Chappelle is Kobe because of how hard he goes. What do you think, Chase?
I definitely will start with that ranking of our Bill Russell is definitely Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Celtics. And no, I definitely would go Eddie as far as MJ, but I think that also too, we kind of got to circle into, you might have to put Isaiah as Martin Lawrence, because I think that we got.
Oh, okay,
I didn't even thought about that one. That was a good one. I forgot about Martin.
Okay, okay.
Well, because they won championships. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about,
and he had a show. He had a show.
Yeah, he had a show. Right. No, you're right.
Exactly. And his comedy specials, and then what he did for comedy. That was the one thing that I was watching something else the other day. I think it was a Kanye interview, and they were talking about what their contribution to the craft was. So that's why I think that like you got to include some of these people and what they kind of shaped and shifted and molded what the younger generation now picked up.
All right, so
Totally agree.
So who are you?
I'm probably one of these young niggas. Just because as much as it's like, oh, okay, cool, you've made these moves, I feel like I'm starting all
right. You in the league.
You in the league, though.
You in the league. You in the league.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the league.
Right.
And I definitely feel like actually, if I could be transparent, I feel like I done won some shit.
Okay.
But I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, that I've put a stamp or shifted something.
Are you a Russell Westbrook, James Harden?
I'm probably ooh shit, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. I'll say more Russell than anything, and the only reason why is just because that ambition. Like I'm gonna give it to you in every kind of way, and I'm gonna find the extra way. I'm gonna do the extra work over here. So again, we comics, but I've done improv. I've done all those things. Been in improv troops. All those things that I think gonna give you those extra little tools, so you don't just look at me as a nigga with a beard that can shoot. Right. Really, really, really good.
Now, someone in the chat room said Cat Williams was Allen Iverson.
Ooh. I will say because the way that he came in and changed the game, like he kind of altered how we saw pimping on stage, how we saw the presentation, what we accepted from somebody. Again, like Cat came in and really was just like, nah, I'm gonna tell y'all what it is, and I'm gonna tell y'all from these places, and I'm not gonna pretend that I don't look this way. Because he at first I know he was Cat in the Hat, and then he shifted to Cat Williams. So, you know, he had his little Georgetown, and then he crossed a couple people. You know?
Yeah, I'm with you. So where do you think Kevin Hart is? Who do you think Kevin Hart is?
And I think Kevin's LeBron. And the only reason why I say that is from a business standpoint, I think that you can't take away how he's changed the game and elevated everything. And that's LeBron. LeBron took business, who he was as a brand, and started to really spread it out. So now when you think about Rich Paul, when you start thinking about Maverick Carter, when you start thinking about how his homeboys can eat, you start thinking about the plastic cup boys. You start thinking about all these things that these people can now eat off of.
Yeah, and I said with Kev, the reason that I said I felt like Kevin was more LeBron because unfortunately, a lot of comedians, I won't say a lot, but over the years, people have said, and even the public, well, is Kevin really funny? You know what I mean? And I always tell people, don't ask me who's funny, because everybody's funny to me. Everybody has their own style, you know. And he's eating way better than me for me to even have any judgment. But it's the same with LeBron. As great as LeBron is, we still have so many people, and there's definitely a lot of dudes in the league that don't give LeBron the respect. You know, Kevin Garnett finally said something nice the other day about, you know, everybody doesn't do the shit the right way or something else. But then he said, but this dude did it one, you know, he's been there somehow where he put it. And I said, wow, Kevin Garnett must need something because he ain't never said nothing nice about LeBron. So I'm just saying, I think Kevin and LeBron would mesh. So that's why I said LeBron.
Yeah, well, Kevin's funny. So listen, Chase, we're going to let you go. I want to thank you for taking the time and thank you for all that insight and knowledge you dropped to the young boys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chase, man. Good seeing you, man.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know.
All right. Well, thank you, man. Much love and respect. Thank you for saying yes to this. Take care. Be safe.
You too.
All right, boy. Be up.
Chase. At least he didn't call you Shannon.
Yeah. Well, Chase my guy. I mean, Chase knows me.
But
I know a lot of people, Louis. See, I think I felt a little slighted the last three guests because each guest you said, "Do you know him?" And then the first thing they said,
I'm going to keep saying that.
And they kept saying, "Yo, what's up, Dan?" And like they didn't say that to you.
So, boss lady, should we put him? Well, they already said yes to me.
No, but they say yes to you, but they don't act like they you're surprised they know
the show.
But the love they showed me.
And so next week, can we put his chair to my right where Jeff used to be? Because it seems like he's feeling little.
No, I like it right here. I like it right here. I want to be able to see him. But I'm just saying, wouldn't you agree, boss lady, that you know the last couple of guests, he was like, "Oh, you know, like it was almost like I was some dude. You have to come off the street
John Starks.
and talk."
They don't know John Starks.
Well, you know, I didn't. I'll take the John Starks.
I can't believe he called me Derek Fisher.
Yeah.
That was my man from the DMV. Hey, listen, it's been fun.
Great show.
Yeah, we got 10 more minutes to fill.
Let's talk, man. What's going on with you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're the man
No,
here.
you can have, nobody's the man in quotes. Boss lady, she's back there.
Oh, okay, I didn't see
So
her.
it's nobody, and
No.
the other lady who came in sweaty from working out.
Yeah, and she was throwing up all over the place, but she was cool.
Was she?
Yeah, outside. I don't know. She was spitting up water or something.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, but I
So
didn't.
she not-
I didn't even know who she was at first. I was like, I thought she was some crackhead walking up. I was about to say,
No, don't go.
No, I'm not being disrespectful. I saw her on the
All
side.
right, now here's
throwing
the
up.
thing.
Why
Is it-
can't the
is it
truth be
easier-
ever be told?
Is it easier to say? Well, sometimes you got words. Is it easier to say I thought she was homeless or I thought she was a crackhead? Which is worse?
Well,
What
both
would
is
you?
worse.
No, I mean there's got to be if you had to.
Well,
if
you know,
somebody
crackhead
said-
is funnier, but
So if
it's
somebody,
homeless. I thought she was a homeless lady.
If somebody saw you and they say I thought you were homeless or I thought you were a crackhead, which one would you feel better of them saying?
Homeless.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I thought she was a. I did not know who she
I
was.
thought she was homeless.
This is how. Okay, let me be honest.
Because
Let me
homeless,
just-
you got a shot.
Let me just say what happened.
What?
I'm coming through the driveway.
Uh-huh.
She's at the corner, and I saw her spitting up water or rinsing her mouth with water. So I'm like, damn, well, maybe she a smoker or something. Maybe she throwing up. This is the truth. Then when I got to the gate opened. So I thought that you guys knew I was there. And then she walked in. Then she went to the gate, the front door. She pulled the door back. Then she didn't go in, and she pulled to the side. So I'm like, oh shit, like, why ain't she not going in? So then when I got out the car, you know me, I got my Philly, lenses on. So I'm looking at her to the right. And then she goes, well, do you have a mask? And I'm looking at her like, well, who are you? Because I just saw you outside, so I didn't know who she was.
And did you answer her?
Yes, but I still was respectful. I said, yeah, I have a mask. And then
So
when
you
she
were
came behind me.
So you were respectful to a crackhead or
Well,
a homeless person.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So you.
I didn't respect. I just answered the
But
question.
what,
I
all
had a
right, what
mask.
helped you?
First of all, why would a crackhead have the opener and open the door?
See, you have to
Like,
understand. I just hit Lou up and told him I was there, so I didn't know maybe Lou or somebody had seen me come. It just happened to all happen at the same time.
she doesn't look homeless or like a
Look,
Crackhead.
I'm not trying to knock her. You can't see. This is the
No,
problem with us. I'm being honest.
I get what you're saying. It was a flash.
It-
thing.
everything happened at the same
Right,
time.
because
So it was
if you had looked at her, truly looked at her, you would have saw
yeah,
that.
because I saw her in the corner and I didn't know if she was throwing up or I
Right.
didn't know she had worked out.
I got you. That
Yeah.
was a Philly thing.
Yeah, you don't try to rob me because I saw something different.
No, it was a.
No, I'm
it
talking
was,
to the
it was-
lady back
it was,
there.
No, but it was the thing of what it was
I'm
what
not
we.
being
no,
disrespectful.
I know. It's
Okay.
what we all do. We judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
A quick look and you went to Philly mode of protecting
And
yourself.
if she would have came in, I wouldn't have said, but she didn't come right in. She opened up the door, then she moved to the side, and I was like,
right, but
that kind of threw me off.
Right, but evidently your senses started calming down, and you realized she was someone because
Right, she had
when
to
she
be-
said you have a mask.
Right, and then I said, okay, yeah, she
Yes,
must be somebody here.
somebody-
And then I said, yes, I do, and I came
And
in.
you think you should have said, "I'm sorry, I thought you were a crackhead."
No, because I didn't. No, she never knew that till the situation just occurred.
I think
So
that-
now she knows.
see me.
Now I'll have to apologize and say,
well,
apologize to
you're not the first one. I've had to apologize to her a few times.
Okay.
Just because of something, I mean, but that's the beauty of in a man's world. Men are honest, and this is what we do. Chase just hit us and said, "Thank you, it was dope."
And said, thank you, Shannon? Or-
No,
Okay.
he said this was dope. Thanks again. That means I guess he enjoyed it.
Yeah, Chase.
So I'm Lewis Dix,
I'm Dannon Green.
and we have like 6 minutes before we. I want to thank all the people who are listening, and I'm feeling really good about the direction we're going in. If we can continue to get these nice young comics to call in. Oh, we have another caller. Caller.
Lewis,
Yes.
it was so nice of you to have your illegitimate son call into the show and think we wouldn't catch on.
Who?
Chase, you and Chase got the same nose, Mr. Lou.
Chase is way
Man.
too light skinned to be my son.
And his nose is half the size as my
yeah,
bad.
Chase is way. That meant I was with a white girl.
Chase will get invited to a crack party. Lewis
And
won't.
why do you think, because he light-skinned and his life is better, Lewis, what kind of colorist bull crap is that?
No, I did preface that by saying that ignorant people like myself would think that he didn't have a tougher life like most people think. That is colorism. Most people think that because we say that all the time about basketball players. Oh man, he ain't got
Light skin, he's soft.
Light skin, he's soft, and we just judge like that. That
Boxing
was
the same.
Yeah, and that's. I did preface by saying ignorant people and included myself. So that's why I said that.
Even light skinned women. We think
yeah.
light skinned women are fine when they're not.
What's so odd, what's so weird with that thought process?
Mm-hmm.
a lot of folks tend to find the light-skinned women, oh, they're so desirable, they're beautiful, but then light-skinned men are soft.
Yes,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. Well, we think dark skin. A lot of in ignorance say dark skinned women got more attitude, and you're right. And my code 3 is, and I used to have a thing about light skinned girls, and then
I always like dark skinned women though.
I like brown women now.
Until one broke your heart.
Yeah. Hey, who
Yeah,
told
right.
you? Damn it.
You got delivered.
I got
Yeah.
delivered.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
now I'm going as light as I can. White.
But just like you, and that's a lot of us. A lot of us, we judge a book by its cover, and hopefully, and definitely as you get older, you realize it. But it's the stereotypes.
What do you prefer though? I mean, I like dark skinned women.
Somebody in the chat room said that Chase was your son with Kim Fields.
Oh, hilarious!
Damn.
No, my pigmentation is stronger than
Yeah.
Chase is. What I mean, what did you think? Didn't you think he was? Him and London were very smart, intelligent young men.
Yeah, the other gentleman that plays on
Power
with London, he's from LA too. They are some very smart brothers.
Yes,
They are not like I'm like, are they sure they're from LA? Not saying everybody from LA, but you know, it's like I know the Bay tend to have that black consciousness, but some of them folks in LA to me are kind of lost.
Oh, there you go.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from the country. Praise God.
Let's see more. Remember last week?
Oh, Seymour. Oh, but how do you know about LA though?
Proud, collard green and cornbread, baked chicken.
Why don't you send us a meal up here one time since you're talking about it?
She travels a lot.
Why don't you just make us a meal and send me and Lou some of them dinners up here? I'm single. I could use a meal.
Well, you're going to have your stuff pureed, Dannon.
What's that?
I don't. Could you explain that?
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to have the puree. You know, like baby food. You know, baby food.
Oh, because of your lips.
We don't want Dannon to choke. Dannon got a thick tongue. We don't want Dannon to choke.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling in. Bye.
Oh no,
I'm just kidding.
No, that was.
Hold on, Dannon.
I'm just kidding.
Hold on, Lewis. Dannon is getting beside himself. We are calling in for Lewis. Dannon, I need you to calm down.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get my friends. I'm gonna get my friends the number 2. Don't worry about it. Next week, my friends are calling.
Tell him, baby. Tell him. That's all right. He gonna learn. That's all right. He gonna learn. And
He gonna learn today.
But plus, don't worry about it. As soon as Jeff and TDP come back.
Oh yeah, I'll be gone.
He'll be gone.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
Yeah, I've already decided.
Lewis, you're gonna have to let us. Well, you know what? If TDP ever comes, TDP will tell us what you did, Lou. And I see y'all got a little nose club for men going on. I like it. Like you the president of the nose club.
All day long.
I see it.
And how are you? How you doing? You good?
I'm doing well. I got a bike ride tomorrow. We're gonna do like a little 20 miles called Park to Port. And this supports the Herman Memorial Park Conservatory. So that's pretty cool.
Now,
I'm doing some Muay Thai, learning some self-defense. I think that's very important. You know, just everything going on. I'm encouraging a lot of women, or all women that are listening to the show, please get in some self-defense classes.
Yeah, because
find you a licensed firearms instructor.
Yeah, Code 3 is all that. She's all about that. I have to tell Code 3 you called. Tell Code 3 you called because she'll say.
Tell Code 3 I said hello and that I'm not a threat. You're more fatherly for me.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All that.
Yeah, no.
Crush. I'm like, no. He's like my mom's age.
No, Code 3 and I, we're good.
Listen, you that old?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm old enough. But hey, listen, I wanted to ask you a quick question, Seymour. I wanted to ask you a quick question in your bicycle. Do you have regular pedals or do you have the pedals where your shoes fit in them?
Your feet shoot in.
No.
I have 2 bikes. So on my hybrid bike, it's the regular platform pedals, so if you're using your children. And then on my road bike, which is what I'm going to ride tomorrow, it is the one where you clip in. You connect the shoes, click into the pedals.
Right, yeah. See, I
So
saw
you actually
that scares me,
one with
though.
the bike.
Okay, yeah.
Those bikes scare me. Because what happens if you kind of fall off of, like have to make a quick move or put your feet down? Won't your feet get stuck?
Well, not really. If they don't have them too tight, then your foot will actually come out. And what they did for mine on my dominant foot, and I'm right-handed, so one side is not as tight as the other.
Okay.
So it'll pop out, but falling is a part of cycling. A lot of people do fall. I've fallen maybe like 3 or 4 times. It's a part of it.
Okay.
All right. Well, be careful and
careful.
have a good time. Thanks again for calling.
Yeah, and send me applesauce.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
All right. So I'm Lewis Dix.
I'm Danny Green.
Yes, boss.
Program note, next week's In a Man's World will be on early.
Yes.
Just for next week.
It's going to be 8:30 to 10:30.
Oh, I meant to ask you.
Pacific Standard
Pacific
Time.
Standard Time.
Yeah. I probably won't be here next week.
That's great. Show will still go forward.
Yeah, because I got to go to Palm Springs.
All right.
Unless you want to have it on Wednesday.
Yeah, right. We're going to change it for you. So don't forget, next week we're here at 8:30 a.m. to 11:30. No, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time next week, because boss lady, somebody else is coming in.
So y'all changing it for them, but you
yeah.
can't change it for your partner.
No, they are a high-end client.
Oh, okay.
We're a low-end client.
Oh, I got you. And then I'm not even a client. I'm just kind of like
you're just
the nigga that you decided. Oh, there he is. Hey, you got anything to do?
Hey, listen. Yeah. Hey, thank you all for listening. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
God bless you all.
I told you I say the last thing.
I keep forgetting.
I'm Lewis Dix. Bye.